Welcome back to you.
And me. Board gaming. It's a little crazy not seeing the web all there anymore from the Halloween Spooktacular. Everything's kind of cleaned up, went away, back to the cemetery.
Yeah. No more Alan.
No more Alan? Oh, man. I miss Alan. Even though he's kind of creepy a bit. He's pretty spooky. But it's another holiday special. And today,
Out with one, in with another.
Yep.
This is our Veterans Day?
Veterans Day.
Veterans Day, yeah. I make sure I said that right, because I didn't want to say like Labor Day or Memorial Day or whatever. So
Veterans Day tribute.
Yeah. So Veterans Day tribute. We're doing first look and review of Monopoly U.S. Air Force Edition. In tribute or celebration to Veterans Day. Artwork is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The rocket got
a
jet.
It's going off.
But it's all
Earth.
off of the globe.
The
like
jet went into
above
space.
the globe.
Can that thing go to space?
There are certain planes that can like hit the precipice of in between the space and Earth.
Mm.
So this one may not be able to. I think it's a certain built ship.
But it is cool though.
Yeah, I think these right here are usually the ones that they take off of those aircraft carriers in the ocean.
Mm. The way it's coming off of the box is nice.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's got to be definitely be.
Yeah.
Because this one right here is the ground, and this they're kind of like superimposed two different pictures in one.
Well, because there's rockets as well, so they're trying to put the rocket in space, and then it's just flying. But it makes sense to put it all in one background instead of having it split.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look at it here. Got the U.S. logo there. The tokens. Ages 8 to adult and 2 to 6 players. It's usually 2 to 8, so. It's an older Monopoly.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
You can always tell by the way it's designed up here. And it's that big box.
Mm. Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Oh, I like that.
That's neat. You got the flags.
America flag.
He has folded up American flag on his airship, his jet.
That's nice. I always like when the Monopolies come with that.
And then you have all the men and women in uniform on that side. That's pretty neat how they just blended it together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we have everything in Ziploc baggies. The properties and the cards here. Monopoly instruction pamphlet.
Any specific year on that?
Specific year.
I'm thinking 99.
$2003 copyright.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little newer than I anticipated.
Yeah. But as it went on into those earlier 2000s, that's when it had the
It started
redesign.
going from one setup to another.
The redesign of Uncle Pennybags.
Mm-hmm.
There's the
Okay, so they
instructions.
have the old classic Monopoly money tray for the banker.
It's just original Monopoly rules. So. Oh, they also got the tray too. Okay. Usually when they have those, that's the tray.
The tray cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holds everything in there. That's pretty neat. Alright. Let's see. So we have houses and hotels, but they're different colors. Let's see if they're actually called houses and hotels in this.
They are the same design, so.
Yeah, they're called houses and hotels.
Okay.
I would have thought maybe barracks and something else, but
Normally they keep the names the same. So
I mean, a lot of the newer games they come out with, they've changed the names of what they are, you know.
Mm-hmm. So
I didn't know if that was from the time they started changing it or not. So I was like, is it that? Look at this back picture on here. You got money bags here, but he's holding a child in his hand.
yeah, one of the chance cards, yeah. So blue houses and gray hotels. I like the re-theme of the color there. Take a look at the money. You have the federal logo. There's the ones. United States Air Force. And then same printing on all the bills.
It's just different colors.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think the flags are different.
Oh,
the
it actually.
crest inside the middle is
It
different.
is not the same logo.
The crest, it's different. I don't know if that means it's like the. Yeah, even what they are, like this one here, says Chief Master Sergeant of the United States Air Force.
Under Secretary of the Air Force. Okay, so you got different
And
ranks.
this one is Vice Chief of Staff, United States Air Force. So each one of these crests means something different. Chief of Staff, Secretary of the Air Force.
If you look in the back here, it actually has a plane in the back of the bill, so that's cool.
Got more than one plane.
That's a backdrop.
That one is the Secretary. Wait. Under Secretary of Air Force, Secretary of Air Force, Chairman, Joint Chiefs of Staff, and then that one is the Department of Defense in your hand.
So interesting that all of
them
them
have to have their own little. They're very similar yet they're different as far as the design. It starts off with the crest at one, and then it goes to several different flags, and then the crest is brought back.
Mm-hmm.
But they're just designed differently. The shields differently. And everything.
Moving on here to the property deeds. I always like when they had that wider card.
The classic, yeah.
Mm. Then on the back, you just have the mortgage side. No additional facts.
Yeah, that's the classic version of those cards.
Yep. This one would have been nice to have something about each vehicle.
So we have, instead of chance and community chest, it's Commander's Call and Airman's Legacy. you need dice. Oh, this is in with the... Yeah. This would come with any dice.
And that was the Airman's Legacy.
Sure which one is which, except for a couple of these. This is the Air Traffic Control Tower. It's a token, movable token to go on the board with. This looks like something from Star Wars.
Oh, this is just like, looks great. It's just a pillar.
This was like Star Wars, like Darth Vader's ship, but it's actually a. It's called the satellite.
Looks like a TIE fighter.
Yeah, it's called a satellite. I'm not sure which is which here. I think this is UAV. I think this is the UAV. It's like an unmanned drone ship.
Could also
Thinking this is the FA-22. I could be wrong about these, so if I'm wrong, let me know.
Could look at the back of the box as well.
So on the back of the box. Okay, so these are labeled here on the back of the box, which makes it a lot easier. Yeah, this is the UAV like I thought it was. This one is the B2. That one's the B2. Air traffic control tower, I knew that, and that's the satellite. What you have in your hand?
Nothing.
Oh yeah, you don't have anything. This one is the C-17. I had an idea that was C-17. What was I had mixed up was the B-2 and the FA-22. These are supposed to be like really, really big ships. They can haul
That's what it looks like, what's on the front.
hundreds of troops and equipment from point A to point B. Now they can haul tanks and all sorts of stuff. You know, it's supposed to be really big, like cargo airplane, what have you. You know. So there's a whole section here of what's different in this game. We'll go over that
Special
when we get
rules.
not rules, just what's different, space-wise and everything. So we'll go over that when we get this box out of the way and open the board.
Show this off closer. It is a nice transition here. I like how it splits down, but it still connects. It works well together.
It's really cool transition.
Of the outside and the close-ups,
Yeah.
it transitions well across the box here. So that's cool.
Shoot.
tray cover, so there's no cheating.
It's one of my favorite things about playing Monopoly back in the old days. They had this tray cover, so you can just cover it up and be like, go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
And then we can get in the bank. It's covered up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really cool thing they had.
Back when Monopoly still had
I
bank
would stick
trays.
it underneath so everything would stay in without being, you know, you could use it as a cover plus a holder, and you're not, you know, when it's in use, it's a cover or it's a holder, and then when it's not in use, it's rolling, it's a cover, you know. So, dang it!
Speaking of falling out.
Because I'm picking it up and not doing it the right way. It keeps flopping out. And this one here, the $1 bill is white and not yellow or whatever it is in the other games we played.
In Late for the Skies versions, yeah.
Yeah. It's either 500. Why are those the only two that flop out? I don't understand that. Just set this. Get that down inside. Alright, let's open this board up. Just don't have any dice, I noticed. Okay, open the board up. Oh,
okay.
Okay. So turn it that way, because this would be go in the bottom, just so you can all see what's going on here. And I had this set up differently. Like traditional Monopoly games, the Monopoly logo would be in the middle, and then you would have like your chest and community chest in the corner like this. Well, they have them off to the side over here like this. So your airman's legacy would be on this side, and your commander's call will be on that side.
So interesting here that they rethemed the middle, but kept the backdrop of all the spaces the classic same. That.
There are several new spaces on this board. And we're going to go over that right now. Game order spaces and corresponding title deeds feature the most important assets of the Air Force. All property values are the same as in the original game. Air Force trading schools replace the traditional railroad spaces. So, first thing you would come to would be basic military training. So basic training. Then you have your reserve office training corps. So the different training things. And then you have your officer training school. And then you have your Air Force Academy at the very end. So you graduate into, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior type setup.
Woo, freedom!
Air Force Research Laboratory replaces the electric company. Okay, that's over there. And Air Force Battle Lab replaces Waterworks, which is right here. Okay. Commander's Call and Airman's Legacy cards replace Chance and Community Chest cards respectively. Air Force Aid Society replaces Income Tax, and Air Force Memorial Foundation replaces Luxury Tax. So you have these extra spaces here and here. You have to pay.
Whatever happened to the taxes?
This one's interesting here because it says Air Force Aid Society, and it says donate 10% or $200. So they've kind of reworded it instead of like paying for tax. It's more like a donation thing. And this one here, you got to pay $75. So that's probably more like a tax than that is as far as that goes. See, I thought they would be different. Okay, so here's where it says it's different. Traditional houses and hotels have been renamed. Air expeditionary squadrons and air expeditionary wings. So I guess the houses is the expeditionary squadrons and the hotels is the wings.
Right.
I'm guessing that's what they're called. We'll just still call them houses and hotels because that's a long name for them.
Yeah. Well, I gotta upgrade to an expedition, whatever you say. I already forgot the name.
Exactly.
So,
See, so
hotel.
just the hotel or the house. Just for short. So that's pretty much it, except for the fact that each of these are their own deed, their own different deed. They didn't really retheme a whole lot except for the middle background, and they kept the title deed spaces the same. And they are called title deeds, and not called something different, so they kept a lot of things the same.
Which I do like that it's like half. It's both. You still keep the classic Monopoly feel with the look of it, but also it's a little rethemed in the middle. So it's half and half.
Yeah, everything's the same. There is no difference in any other there isn't any other different rules or anything like that except for the obvious ones. The rules still apply the same as traditional rules in this version. So you try to knock the other person out by eliminating by bankruptcy. Yeah, there's not really anything different.
And that's what I like about the older games is it's a different theme to it, but they've kept the original Monopoly rules. What they've kind of been doing now is they'll give a theme and then completely change and make it a whole new game. Like with the Jurassic Park and a few other ones. It's completely different new rules.
Original Monopoly game rules plus special rules for this edition. I'm reading the instructions here. I didn't see any special rules except for a little rundown of the spaces. That's it. So really went over that. So gameplay is still the same except for the special spaces and everything. So yeah. Is it still? I want to make sure. Well, they've got them shortened down with AEW and with AES.
Oh, okay.
So on the cards, I just noticed that. Yeah, that's the same. Okay. 25, 50, 100, and 200. Okay. For the railroad spaces. Okay. Yeah, and an Air Force Battle Lab and the Air Force Research Laboratory. The rules are applied the same there. It's the dice thing. 4 times or 4 times and 10 times?
4 times with one and then 10 with both of them.
It's the same. There's nothing different about that, so. Excuse me. Yeah. And of course, 2 of the cooler ships are at the boardwalk and Park Place spaces. So, I do, however, like the spaceships. So it's pretty cool. Oh, there's Air Force One. That's neat. Okay. So there's some pretty neat ones. Okay. Ooh. Alright. I just put the deeds right here for now. Well, I'll put it up here so it's not covering anything up. That's the deeds. That's the basic setup. The money, of course, to be off to the side somewhere for the bank to use. In this case, right now, we just had it set at the front of the board. But yeah, we got the review. Now the
rating
part of the review. I like the classic feel. I haven't really touched the spaces, and I haven't really touched the size of the board. It's still the same as traditional Monopoly. I do like the changed up layout as far as the center goes. That's kind of neat because it kind of differentiates the original Monopoly to something different. This is when they started. I guess this is the start. This is the time period where they started doing things different, but they kept the board the same until what they've been doing now. Thanks, Hasbro.
Yeah, thanks.
Parker Brothers was like, no, we're going to keep it the same, but we're also going to change it.
Yeah, so this
Hasbro was like, how do you keep it the same and change it?
Parker Brothers did it well. Yeah. They kept it the same, but also rethemed it, and it works well.
I think this is at the transition time between both companies before one took more of the lead.
Yeah, this is the era of like those last bit of monopolies, the last bit of charm.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the artwork. It's not just like comical,
or
not comical, but comic-looking artwork. It's actual photographs of things, and that makes it really neat and stands out. Means a lot more when you play the game than just seeing a game with a cartoony-looking picture on it. On that space. But actually seeing actual pictures of our military personnel and satellite and the ships and the memorial and all that stuff, you actually see it because it has more of a, to me, it has more of a meaning to that space than just a cartoon on it.
But it would be cool to see Mr. Monopoly in a jet, though.
That would be neat. I mean, they could have, they could have put him in that one because that is like the bigger one in the middle. That would be kind of neat to see him, in that. But they missed the bar on that opportunity. But I get what they're going through, trying to be a bit more serious with this, and
it might be in a card.
It might be. It might be more comical on the
because
cards
the cards
themselves.
Are
that
artwork. So
traditional rules say that free space is just a free resting space. Is anything that happens.
Like always, and then you got the house rule that people use about the money.
Yeah, so I think we're just going to play it with the house rule when we do the full playthrough. I'm just curious what these cards are going to say. Like, are they going to be the same type of format as traditional, or they're actually going to have a little bit different, twist or flair to it,
Mm-hmm.
as far as that goes. Without going through the full playthrough, I guess I just have to do the first, what is it, the initial reaction review. That's what we'll call it. Reaction review, whatever you want to say. I like it a lot. Artwork's really cool. Even the outside of the box is neat because it's almost the same as this. Really. I think they probably could have either reworked the board itself or the box.
Different picture.
Kind of give it a different picture instead of being the same. I think that if I had to find anything, that's probably what it would be. But that's a minute thing. But it seems like it's copy and paste, and not an original. It could have been. It could have been. This could have been the V, the flying V that they do. Flying over
something else.
Something, or could have even been another ship, another space, aircraft, or a rocket, or something. Instead of just having the montage of pictures up the box, top of the box has.
Yeah, I mean, it does have a cool effect though, because at a certain angle here, it looks like it's 3D the way it's popping out.
It is cool. It is cool. I'll give them that.
How it goes
3D
all
look.
the way to here, up to the spaces. Yeah, I like how it's an older Monopoly.
Yeah.
I like how it's kept the same in there, where it has that same backdrop of the spaces.
Yeah, as far as this goes, it's left the classic feel to it, except for the replaced spaces, as far as the chance in community chests and the railroads, and then the taxes spaces. Is the only things that are like real pop out noticeable different spaces.
But a realistic review here, not just rating it, it's 5 out of 5 just because it's an older Monopoly. I like that their tray comes with the tray.
It actually holds it. It makes sense for it. I think the tray is just a little bit too big.
And then the artwork.
Cover, as far as being set down inside of, I noticed that. I was trying to set it down inside. But I do like that idea. So you can have it like sit off to the side over here like this, or over there where you can actually see it.
Then this is cool, and it just transitions well, so it works.
That's really nice. I do like
it. It works together on both images.
Yeah.
The blue and gray are perfect colors for this.
Well, that's the Air Force colors.
Yeah,
blue and gray,
that's why
so
it's perfect, because it matches their
goes
colors.
With the whole scheme. And it used the blue and gray in subtle places, and not just like the whole thing blue and gray. So you're not overwhelmed with it, which is good, smart touches, and not overdoing it. And
then you got the classic pewter pieces. So.
Yeah. So coming down to after examining everything and all that, I would probably have to give it a first look rating of I don't want to give it a perfect score, but at the same time, I do. So it's kind of hard.
Yeah, because there's nothing wrong with it.
There's not really anything wrong with it.
Everything's well made.
But I don't want to give it a perfect score right away without playing it.
Well, I mean, this is based off of.
I know. I'm just saying. So I would probably give it. Man, I have to give it probably a